this movie is horrible enough on its own without me being ill. And I don't mean like ill from watching a movie. I mean actually legitimately ill.
Yeah.
Uh, this has been like what the second time I've been ill in as many months. Like I was pretty ill like towards the end of December over a Christmas break.
And I was too. This is my. I think he got this probably from me.
Yeah.
It's probably my fault.
Nah, nah, I wouldn't. I'm not gonna be too hard on you. I mean, not after this movie.
Yeah.
Gods of Egypt. I mean, you dread for it. You know it's gonna be shit, but you know preparing for shit doesn't always come with a guarantee that you'll come no worse for wear after viewing it. And I was prepared for its inaccuracies, which there were plenty of. I was prepared for its mind-numbing action beats.
Yes, as was I.
But I was not prepared for the eye-rolling, near gratuitous amounts of canned, forced laughter and jokes.
Yeah.
Every joke that they try to make in this movie might as well go with a womp womp. They're always telegraphed poorly. They're always in like no. It has no follow up or connective tissue with what's going on. It just feels like the people who wrote the script, the same people who wrote Dracula Untold, by the way, just figure like, oh, we need to have some kind of comedic, you know, we need some comedy relief. So let's just have everyone just crack jokes that are just absolutely lame for the sake of not wanting to overbear the audience with what's going on. Guys, you couldn't overbear the audience with an actual ox yoke. This is... Actually, speaking of a yoke, this is something like that. This movie is like a yoke around your neck. It is punishing. It is... It's this forceful movie that just crowds into your brain space and just will not let go. It's thoroughly unpleasant. It feels way longer than it is. I don't think it's 2 hours, but it feels like Lord of the Rings length. Easy Lord of the Rings length.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And worst of all, it is the most meandering, most incomprehensible action film I've seen on Stage Versus. I mean, every action film that I can think of in my addled brain space, filled with enough Mucinex to choke a horse, I can't think of an action movie that I couldn't follow as well.
And yet
for simple reasons, I couldn't follow.
And yet I was chained to my. So I'm an Egyptophile. I'm an Egyptophile. So that's what this movie was for me. Was this every time something happened, I was painfully aware of how wrong it was.
The burden of knowledge.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll grant you that you have that over me. I mean, I know enough about the ancient Egypt to have a cursory knowledge of it. Like, ask any fourth grader, you know, what they know about Egypt. I know the exact same thing. But you really delve into it more than any other intellectual pursuit I know. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's not like... I mean, like, I know how that can come off as backhanded, but you take...
But basically, I've read half a book about Egypt.
You said it, man, not me. But no.
I actually can't really read. But I had lots of pictures, so I consider that half the book.
Oh, man. It feels like that Mr. Show sketch with you sometimes where, like, whenever I have you on camera reciting your lines, and when the camera goes cut, you're acting like a chimp and I have to wrangle you back into your cage. Like, whoop, banana, 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 back in the cage. And the commenters wonder why I'm so mean to you.
I thought that was...
No.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah, no, but like, for some reason, like, people think that I'm legitimately, like, keep you in a cage, or I legitimately, like, browbeat you. Like, they have no idea that it's for comedy.
Okay. Yeah, it's totally for comedy.
The comedy here, I mean, I flatter myself to think that it's better than anything in Gods of Egypt, but a fart in a church is funnier than... Like, just the thought of a fart in church is funnier than anything in this movie. And it's I said the word punishing, and it really is.
A fart in yoga is more funny than this movie.
It's
a fart in a farting contest.
Yeah, like
is more funny than this movie.
Like that one movie that Red Letter Media covered, the American Flatulators, was probably funnier than this movie.
So the thing is that I was going into this prepared to actually pay attention and keep track of the story and the mythology so that I could point out what was wrong, because that's what you do. And it was all wrong.
From top to bottom.
So I could just tell you the story. I could tell you the story, which is really it's not that complex. It's a pretty simple story of Set and Osiris and everything thereafter. I could just tell you the story, and then I don't have to, follow their kind of plot and pick things out. It's all wrong.
Like, you were afraid that you would have to sift through what they said.
I thought I was going to have to sift through it, like the amount of fake CG sand in the movie, and actually have to pull all the golden turds
of wrong information.
God, everything in this movie was fucking platinum gold, man. Like, you remember Zeus's breastplate in Clash of the Titans? If you want to know the quality of this, think Clash of the Titans. Would you say it's even worse than Clash?
It's
worse than the Clash of the Titans.
Oh, it's worse than Clash of the Titans.
It's even worse.
Oh, this is an embarrassing... Like, even for a CG spectacle movie, this is some of the most laughably awful... Like, the thing about, like, CG movies is that it can never look seamless, but at the very least, could you get composite shots correct?
Yeah.
Like, there's... Towards the beginning of the movie, where everything is being set up, the Osiris is addressing his people, all of Egypt, ostensibly, and it looks like he's... Like, the audience is a matte painting.
God, that was so awkward. It was like the effects from... what was it? Little People, or Gary Oldman in... that movie.
Tiptoes?
Tiptoes was like way better than this.
So, for those of you who don't know, Gary Oldman played a midget opposite Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah,
real movie.
Whereas the hobbits in the Lord of the Rings were, that was well done, hard work. This is just the other side of that. These people obviously look like they're like far away. It looks like the whole time they're just like this person way in the background is interacting with this person in the foreground. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, and that's not when the gods, who have blood of gold, whenever they like have blood flow,
blood of shiny and chrome gold.
It's
so spray paint looking.
Yeah, and when it's the laughable part about this, the very few laughs to be found in this movie.
Cake mist. Yes.
Yeah, the very few laughs to be found in this movie all revolve around the gold blood, because whenever a monster's blood is spilled, it looks like Nickelodeon gack coming out of their bodies. And best yet, whenever like a human playing a god who was about 15, 20 feet tall in the movie, whenever they get blood, it's always like wounds around their bodies, but it looks like they're Kesha. Trying to glitter or stuff. Like, towards the beginning of the movie, Horus's eyes get gouged out by Set. And so he's got gold around his eyes, like, I can't see!
He's got the cake mist.
Yeah, so he looks like he's having a bad time on E during a rave. It's one of those moments where you're just like, I know this is supposed to be serious, but... I got a bite on my sleeve, it's so awful. But even beyond that, beyond the laughable CG, which there are plenty moments like that. The only few times where I laughed was the reveal of probably the greatest casting possible. Raw, played by Jeffrey Rush. And Jeffrey Rush is the best part of this movie, because every time they use CG around him, he looks so out of place.
Even in this movie of out of place, nothing but out of place things. Yeah, is out of place.
Yeah, Jeffrey Rush was... He looked like if you took Dustin Hoffman in the old man makeup from Little Big Man and just put like flames around him.
Yes. And it was really like B video game graphics kind of CG in this. It was so bad.
Yeah, like last generation's PC games.
Yeah,
look better than this. Oh God! And when the action gets frantic, which thankfully it doesn't get too frantic.
I had a headache the entire movie.
Yeah, well, that was mainly because of the color palette. That wasn't because of
the all one color gold.
Oh, so much.
Zeus's fucking shining breastplate is basically everyone's attire in this.
Like lots of blaring golds, lots of blaring reds, but the very few times where the action does get frantic, it's migraine inducing. Because it's not just that the camera is just whipping around trying to follow two CG characters just in a tumble dryer. It's that combined with the loudest, most garish color palette imaginable. I mean, say what you will about the Transformers movies, at least the colors are dull, so that way they don't hurt your eyes.
Yeah.
It just means you get lost in the details, yes, but you're not like literally straining your eyes at
Yeah.
the bright, garish colors.
I wish that I could have been blind during this movie.
No, you don't. You don't.
Oh.
But if there is anything good to be said about the movie, and I think there is, very few things to be said about the movie, but there is. The music was pretty good. I like the theme. I like that it sounded like a movie.
The score did not sound great.
But I like that it sounded like a movie. I'm so
Yeah.
tired of these soundtracks for movies, which are just like minimalist thumps and bumps and people trying to ape off of Hans Zimmer. I hate that. That's becoming way more prevalent
The
in movies
score
today.
wasn't atrocious.
It wasn't atrocious, but at least it felt like it was doing something with the movie instead of just like, well, we need to have music back here, or else this scene doesn't pop. It's like, okay, we'll just put on some Philip Glass music just to.
But go back and look at. I've been waiting a long time to get my Egyptian epic, my mythological epic.
Just one quick here. I want to get back to you, but I wanted to finish up what I was talking.
I'll get back to you in a minute. But
Yes,
Stargate was the greatest movie of all time.
which there is a Stargate scene, but we'll get to that. But
Go
wanted
ahead.
to quickly address like the only time the theme, like the music, kind of let me down was when it tried to play for comedy, and it did have that doo 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 doo
Yeah.
sound. It's like, you know what? I can appreciate the craftsmanship because that is kind of what you do to try to build a comedic scene, or at least a lighthearted scene. And movies today don't even bother with that. But it's not to the movie's benefit. It's not like it's good comedy. But at least the building blocks are there. I can't say the same for like
Woohoo!
yeah.
Effort.
It's like at least there's some effort. Not a lot, but there's some effort. But you were saying about you wanting a real historical.
The last time I got what the Stargate was I think it was 1991,
It might have been 92, 93.
but that's how long it's been basically, and this was supposed to be the. You see, you go back to Clash of the Titans because you think, the Greek mythology, but there's actually been lots of Greek mythological movies. There's been, what was it,
Jason and the Argonauts,
Yeah.
if in 1963.
well, I mean, not looking at that
yeah.
long ago, but
Or you want to like within the last 5
there
or
was
6 years.
there was the Immortals or whatever,
Centurion.
which was not good. But even all those shitty Greek mythological movies were still better than this.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I've been waiting for this for a while, and I wasn't I wasn't wrong. I knew it was going to be a bad movie. I knew that going in, but seeing it when you finally see it, your dreams are crushed.
It's like it's the difference between expecting and knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes there's really no winning for losing in that situation.
But it was all wrong. It was all wrong. It was I was already had this whole thing planned out. I was going to explain the errors, but there's no point.
Because they literally get everything wrong. And like I remember when the movies began, and like they had the they had the movie's narrator chime in, trying to set the stage for everyone, and without missing a beat, you just lean over to like they already fucked it up.
Yeah.
That's not how it happened. Fucking Horus already was born after the battle with the brothers.
Yeah, they said there was a battle with Osiris and Set, and over Horus being the new king or whatever, or the heir to Osiris's throne, I guess, and that's bullshit. Horus wasn't even born at that point. Horus was born after the battle was concluded as a means to avenge his father. Isis magically, yes, she magically fucked Osiris because Osiris had at that time not had the means to procreate, which they didn't go into at all. But
This is a PG-13 movie.
well, yeah, but they were able to say that Set wasn't able to have children, but
Yeah.
oh, and that's not how that happened either, of course.
But
But in any case, Osiris when he was torn apart and thrown all over Egypt, so that they couldn't put him back together, she eventually gets all of his parts back together except for his genitals, and she has to magically have sex with him in order to conceive Horus, and. And of course, it's kind of shitty the idea that women can't fight male gods, and they have to conceive of a son in order to avenge the father. Yeah, that's pretty shit, but it's not like this movie tries to change that in any way. They already fucked everything up. They may as well. But no, women are very much just as helpless as they are in mythology. It's except for the two snake women, the hunters, which were Wajet and Renanutet, but they don't name them in the movie because they just didn't want to, I think, fuck up more mythology. They just wanted to keep it as nameless as possible.
yeah, that and those sound like names that are easily fuck-upable.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably fucking them up, and I've been saying them for years, but so they just get it all wrong, and they don't do it in a way that's more entertaining. Actually, the original story is far more entertaining. I mean, can you imagine a scene where Isis has to cast a magic spell and have sex with Osiris?
now you're describing a movie that I wish I'd seen when you showed me that Rock Hercules movie. I mean, of all the ways to deconstruct a myth. Oof.
Well, it was better not the first time I seen it. A lot of movies are.
Oh, yeah.
But I still love that ending, though.
Yeah, because it's him acting like Hercules.
Yeah, it wasn't as good as what we thought we were going to get, even all said and done.
Yeah, like even like knowing first and
There
foremost,
was still the lie.
yeah, that lie was just no. But that's that movie, and this is this shittier movie.
This one didn't lie in the previews. They said it showed you shit and you got it.
First and foremost, but here's a crash course of the plot. So Set crashes the coronation of Horus.
You go ahead and say the plot, and I'll correct it. I guess. As you go.
Yeah. Crashes the coronation of Horus because the gods of Egypt live among the mortals. Okay, live among the mortals, and he's about to be crowned king of Egypt. But then, like Hades, Gerard Butler as Set, just kind of like, hey!
Yeah, Gerard. Oh yeah, and fuck, this movie is whitewashed.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit, it is whitewashed, man.
But Gerard Butler is the most entertaining part of this movie.
Yeah, he's in his very thick Scottish accent.
I have no earthly idea where Gerard Butler hails from, but he is he is about as Egyptian as fucking Sean Connery.
Yeah.
I'm not Spanish, I'm Egyptian.
He sounds Scottish.
He's basically doing his King Leonidas voice, which, granted, I don't want him to do anything other than that. If he's going to be in this movie, he might as well be over the top and just.
I mean, everybody else is speaking, in old British.
Because that was old Hollywood's trick for trying to
cover up the dialect of the actual.
Yeah. I know it's awful. It's awful, and I feel you. I really do feel you. But so
no, go ahead.
Yeah. Gerard Butler just chimes in, just like, "Hey, sorry I'm late. Here, have a ram's horn."
Why don't you give it a good blow?
And he does, and he summons his minions. Now, here's my question about that scene: why did he need him to blow the horn to summon his shock troops? Why did he need to do that? Like, couldn't he just pimp in with his shock troops? It's not like anyone would have put up a fight.
It was like hey, pull my golden finger and see what happens. Osiris.
Yeah. So Leonidas, I'm just gonna call him Leonidas.
Just call him Leonidas.
Leonidas kills Osiris, and
okay. Footnote.
Yeah.
The way this actually went down in the story, which was actually better, is that Set makes he makes a coffin basically, or I'm sorry, a tomb or a
Sarcophagus.
sarcophagus. Thank you. Set makes a sarcophagus for basically whichever god can fit in it, and all the gods have to try out the sarcophagus to see if they fit in it, and whoever fits gets to have it. And it's like, oh hey, Osiris, why don't you try it out? He fits, of course. They slam it shut, and they throw him in the Nile.
They're like, woo, woo, woo.
And then, so that's what actually the trick was.
Yeah, that was very Ric Flair of him to do. And Gerard Butler does put on a Ric Flair robe during the movie.
But, I mean, that's what actually happens, not in the movie.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah, but
And when that doesn't work, and he comes back, he just tears him limb from limb and throws him across Egypt, so that they can't put him back together. It's just
yeah, it's
a lot of cool story stuff they didn't put in this movie.
well, they did kind of put in that part where he was torn apart and thrown into the garden, but then they just kind of like brush it underneath the rug. It's like, so you killed him, stabbed him, then you dismembered him and off screen, and then scattered his remains across his dead garden.
Yeah, it's
Good. Now that Set is king, he declares himself kingship of Dick Mountain, and he says that now you need to bring gold to the afterlife if you want to go past the gates.
footnotes. No, didn't happen.
Yeah.
It was always feather and heart.
Yeah,
It's always, you have to have the feather, and they show it later on, of course. They have to have the feather and the heart, and when you go to the afterlife and you see Anubis and Osiris, and they weigh it, and if it balances, then, you know, you have a good afterlife. And everything else, the gold and everything, that's more about your material assets in the afterlife. It's about, you know, how much wealth you have in the afterlife, how many servants you have, you know, because if they're buried with you, your servants, you have them all with you in the afterlife. But of course, they didn't do anything with mummification in this movie either.
I think they fucked up enough about Egypt. Yeah. I don't think they need to fuck up.
And they didn't want to trudge on the mummy.
Probably not. My question about that scene is, how the fuck does he have the power to tell what the afterlife does? Like, he just suddenly declares, like, now you need to buy your way into the afterlife.
Right? There's all of these certain things that are set. That never gets old. But there's all these things that are set in stone.
Mm-hmm.
In gold, actually.
Yeah.
But and why is it that one thing can be changed? That such an important cornerstone of the afterlife can be changed like that.
Just like on a whim. I don't think he even like stated that before. I think he stated that before he killed the king. So it's just like, oh, well, somebody said it, I guess we got to do it.
Hey guys, start peddling that shit out. What are we gonna do with all these hearts? I don't know. Keep them where they are.
I don't know. Give them to Care Bears. They love that shit. So in retaliation, Horus, who I believe is played by the actor who played Jaime Lannister. I think that's him.
It is him.
All right. So he. Speaking of actors who are in better things, with Dracula Untold having old Chucky Dance there, now we got, Kingslayer Lannister.
Yeah.
And it was like,
at least it wasn't Jon Snow.
Kit Harington.
Colin Firth, or what's his?
Kit Harington. That's
Kit Harington.
Kit Harington is Jon Snow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know, like, there's this weird chord that goes through like these movies and Game of Thrones, because Gerard Butler's in this movie, and he was in 300 with Lena Headey, who was Cersei Lannister in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And it's like 6 degrees of Game of Thrones. It's a great game to play. But anyways, so Horus tries to fight Set and loses his eyes in the process, and he is shamed and he banishes himself. Skip to a year later, some thief gets it up his ass like, I'm going to steal the Eye of Horus.
Oh god, I think that was just the most forced part of the entire movie.
Yeah,
and sped through.
Oh yeah, like this entire movie is sped through. It's
but this was just like, hey, you know, what if I'm gonna steal the eye for some reason because I'm a thief and I steal things, and that's a big prize.
I didn't understand what he was planning to do with the eye.
That's what I didn't know either. I almost thought that his original plan was to actually bring it back to Horus just for shits and giggles.
But no, when he tries to escape with the Eye of Horus, his girlfriend gets shot with an arrow, and then he brings
then
it.
Suddenly his reason for stealing it in the first place is then dumped on us.
Yeah, to ransom the Eye to Horus to bring her back from the
It's
dead.
like, if that was what he was doing from there on forward, what was his original plan?
Yeah.
What was their original plan?
I mean, like, I could even wrap my head around, like, he just wants to see if he can steal it. I could get behind a Lupin the Third motif, but they didn't even throw that to us. They're just like, hey, you got those plans inside that pyramid? I want to steal the Eye of Horus. Okay, here's the plans.
Yeah, and,
you go do that.
And she has the plans.
Because, you know, when Set makes himself king, he makes a slave state, and she's now a slave to the builder who builds a gigantic obelisk in honor of Ra, who, I swear I've recognized that actor from somewhere, but like, doesn't he look so familiar, that the actor who played the
who
architect?
plays the architect who, you know, was Hemotep.
Mm-hmm.
But they probably didn't want to trudge on the mummy again and use that name. Yeah, I know that actor. I've seen him in other stuff. I kept trying to remember during the film. It's still not coming back to me, though.
Oh, God.
But I've seen him do good stuff.
Yeah, me too. Like, because he was fairly charming throughout the movie, even when he was playing kind of like a worm-tongued heel.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there, though, because this movie might as well be tied to the back of a racing horse, because it's just galloping through the narrative at a breakneck speed. It's like, you know, revive my girlfriend. Horus says, no, I can't do that. It's like, I'm sure you can. It's like, yeah, I can do it. And then the whole movie is just like, well, now we got to go here. So we go there. Now we got to go here. So we go there. Now we got to go visit my grandfather Ra. So we go up into space. They literally go up into space. Earth is a flat disc.
It's like a coin. It has a. It's not like two-dimensional. It's like a coin. It has like a little side.
Yeah, it's like a little ridge.
It has a little ridge.
Mm-hmm. Like the twilight, as it were, for Earth. And Ra is in constant battle with the monster of the night, and that's what he does all day, every day. Jeffrey Rush just says, like, hang on a moment.
Oh yeah, Apophis.
Yeah.
So the great serpent Apophis, which Ra and his solar barge every night as he crosses the sky has to fight. And here's the funny thing: it's a conglomerate of gods. It's a group effort to put down Apophis every night. And who is the biggest? Who's the MVP? Set. Set is the most integral part of slaying Apophis. So nothing with that. It was just.
I mean, like, they tried to say, like, it was Ra's plan to have Set take up the mantle of slaying Apophis every night, but that, you know, arrived so late in the movie that it might as well just, like, are you trying to give the character pathos now? Because it is utterly, you know, thrown out the window by now. Not that Gerard Butler is, like I said, he's the most entertaining part of the movie because he plays it like Leonidas, except he's a bad guy, which, I mean, like, I say that he wears the Ric Flair robe, he wears the Ric Flair robe.
He does.
And I'm, like, every time he's, like, wins the day, he might as well do the Nature Boy walk as he goes out of frame.
Yeah. Speaking of wrestling stuff, just say no to this movie, not yes. This is not meant to be a message. That was...
Yeah,
I probably should have chose my shirt better.
No, you should have gotten the Daniel Bryan no shirt.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
post-it notes, no.
No! But I just described the plot. I mean, like, they tried to shoehorn in these character arcs with Horus because apparently he believes the mortals are beneath him. Gee, I wonder how he came to that conclusion. Since the first time we see Horus, he's literally being dressed by handmaidens, and they're singing praises to his name as he's walking on rose petals.
Yeah.
And
oh, yes. Oh, glorious Horus.
oh, glorious Horus!
Literally, that's...
Yeah, he's being led into the bath.
That's
and
what they're doing.
That's the funniest part of the movie.
Yeah.
Well, that and when you first see Ra's spaceship.
Yes.
Yeah, he has a spaceship with tarp-covered cargo. He has plastic over his cargo.
That thing looked like a sleek pile of shit.
It reminded me so much of Jupiter Ascending.
Yeah.
It was, in a lot of ways, this is the Jupiter Ascending of this year. Just a lot of nonsense thrown at you at 1,000,000 miles an hour, but it's not nearly as dull as Jupiter Ascending is.
Yeah.
But then again, like the swerves that Jupiter Ascending gives you, isn't that like gobsmacking? Because there's a lot of dull exposition. I can barely understand because every goddamn actor is mumbling their lines, and then like bees recognize royalty. What? There's no moment like that in the movie. It's just this continuous. Just the continuous, what the hell am I watching? Why am I sitting through this turd ball?
I was hoping that the glorious horror segment thing would just be a reoccurring, like there'd be a whole bunch of that crap, like
the muses in Hercules. Like
yeah, but except with like giant Jaime Lannister with little servants, like just kind of running around his feet, and it's kind of like Seagal syndrome.
Oh yeah,
it's what it felt like. This felt like what Seagal dreams every night or something.
Yeah, like it's so hysterical seeing like the big inversions of Gerard Butler and Jaime Lannister holding like cups that are barely fit their hand, and then they hand it to somebody else, and it's like thank you.
I was hoping there would be lots of that,
and there isn't. There's not nearly
like
enough.
They'd be sitting at like a little like a little Egyptian restaurant.
Yeah,
with tiny tables and be. Like leaning on this little table like this, taking up the whole table.
If you want to talk about movies that tried to have comic relief, that would have been a great comic relief scene, but they didn't do it.
Kind of like Immortals when they're playing Monopoly.
Oh,
Bastet and Anubis playing Monopoly. I wanted more stupid shit like that.
Yeah, that's it. This movie would be more forgivable. If it was worse in a way. If it was stupider than it is, but if it was stupider in the right way.
Holy shit, I just realized that there wasn't a single fucking cat goddess in this whole movie.
Bastet? Yeah, no.
There was no Bastet, whichever you want to call it. There was no, oh god, what was there was the line on one. Serket?
Well,
no.
Let me alleviate your fears.
Yeah.
Let me alleviate your fears. If they were in this movie, they'd be irreparably damaged. Do you want that to your cat?
Yeah, no, I don't.
No, of course not.
No.
But, if you wanted to make the complete Egypt movie, well, you would need cats. I don't think there wasn't even a single cat in this movie.
Yeah.
Is there anything like where?
Oh, Shez. I think it's Shez something. Anyway.
Yeah, but
my mind's blanking right now.
But the human character who's the thief is this annoying chipmunk of a dude. Yeah. He's like if Aladdin came to life, but was even worse. Because I don't get it with Aladdin. I know. I remember every girl in my class when I was a little kid loved Aladdin because they think he was so cute. Because he had long, floppy black hair, and he was a rogue, so you can go on adventures with him. I hated Aladdin when I was a kid. I liked the genie, and I liked Jasmine.
Oh, yeah, I love the genie.
Yeah, but I did not like Aladdin. I really hated Aladdin.
Did you like Abu?
It was a package deal with me. I couldn't... It's I enjoy certain aspects of that movie. I like Jasmine. I like Jafar in a weird way, and I liked the genie, but I hated Aladdin. I hated Aladdin because he was so even as a kid I was just annoyed with his smugging grin and his just oh, try to catch me. I only steal what I can't afford, and that's everything. Ha cha 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 cha. And that kind of attitude always just annoyed the crap out of me. And now here's a character who is made flesh incarnate, carved straight from the Aladdin cloth, where he does lines where it's basically. He has lines where it's basically, I steal what I can't afford, and that's everything.
And his name's Beck.
Oh, God. Soy un perdedor. He's a loser, baby, so why don't you kill him? I know I want to... He even has a punchable face, doesn't he?
He
Like
really
the actor,
does.
the
He
actor.
really does.
I mean,
not as punchable as Hathor in
Hath-
this movie. The person who played Hathor,
who was
the goddess of love, because Hathor had nothing to do with childbirth or.
Who Hathor in this movie is Horus's love interest, and she she just kind of exists in this movie. Like, she has this own little plot thread where she has this bracelet that protects her from being sucked up into the underworld for some reason, just to give like some urgency to the plot somewhere later down the line. But the thing that bugged me the crap out of me is the way that she would just kind of, just pimp into scenes and pimp out of scenes. There's literally one moment where Jaime Lannister is fighting off the Cobras that we were mentioning earlier, and she just comes running in from out of nowhere. I don't know where the fuck did she come from.
Everything is blowing up all around. There's just kind of like, "What's up, guys?
What's up, fuckers?
Mind if I barge in on your scene?" I fucking hated her. She was the most hateable person in this movie for me. I mean, she's surrounded by these, at least from my perspective, women who are way more attractive than her.
Oh man,
she was not attractive in my eyes. She was this like scrawny.
Choose your words carefully, man. You're going down a very dangerous path. What? No,
I'm not. She's just this really aggravating. Maybe it was a lot about the way she carried herself. Her voice was annoying. Her face was annoying. Everything was annoying about her. She was like a female equivalent of Andrew Garfield for me, I guess.
I wouldn't say that her face was anywhere near as punchable as Andrew Garfield's face. I mean, I don't find his face punchable. I find Miles Teller's face
at this point,
punchable.
I'm just reaching for extremities.
For extremes, yeah. But with all of what we said, do you think? All right. I'm pretty sure this is the worst movie we've seen so far this year.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Wait.
Like the only thing that comes close to earning that title is 50 Shades of Black. And 50 Shades of Black, while a terrible film, I can still laugh at. Because, there's that whole, like, what the, like, wow, they actually did that?
Yeah.
And there's certain moments where they kind of get the parody right. Like, they get the fact that, Christian Grey is this pervert who just likes to, like, watch women sleep. And they get that part right. Which is way more, in that one insular moment, they get more right in their context than this movie got anything right. But if you ask me, like, point blankly which one I would rather want to watch again, that's a tough one. Because that's the ultimate test to see, like, which movie is worse. If you have two movies that have nothing in common with each other, but you need to decide which one is the worse or the better film, you have to ask yourself, if you had to watch one of these films again, which one would you choose? And there you'll find your answer. And in this current mindset, it not helped by the fact that I'm sick.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather watch 50 Shades of Black again.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing.
Yeah. So right now we got a winner for the worst movie we've seen so far this year.
Yeah, we did.
And unfortunately, Allegiance, the Divergent sequel, is coming out. That we'll most likely have to watch. But I can imagine it being worse than fucking Gods of Egypt, but I don't want to. But I don't want it to be worse. But I can't imagine it being better either. I can imagine it being worse, but I can't imagine it being better. It's like, it's this weird, like, Sisyphean torture.
Yeah.
Like, you're stuck in limbo just waiting for this movie to happen that you're just gonna have to see and just endure through.
Yeah.
But I think the last thought I want to touch upon is that would this have, like, if this was released in 2014, would you put this on your top 10 worst list?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you have to remember where I'm coming from.
But this was like a personal insult to
you. This was more personal for me because I fucking love Egyptian mythology and I love Egyptian art. I'm just a all-around Egyptophile. I really am.
Granted,
biggest Egyptophile since Napoleon.
I guess I would make my top 10 as well. I think it will be, but it'd be higher up. Probably it'd be like an 8 or 7. But because as bad as this movie is, it's not anger-inducing.
I thought I'd be more pissed off, but I think that the trailers did a good enough job of revealing the shittiness of the movie that I was not I had already prepared myself for this.
Yeah, like there's no anger to be found in this movie because in order for there to be anger, you had to have like higher expectations to begin with.
There is no expectations.
Like we knew this was going to be a bad film, and we were not let down in that regard. And the movie is not made better by the fact that it met low expectations, but at the very least, it can be said that it's not an anger-inducing movie, but a very frustrating and very boring and poorly put together and just all around not a very well made movie.
Yeah.
For as much money that was most likely spent on this movie, it is very poorly made, both in terms of scripting and special effects. Like nearly every part of this movie just feels like the money was just spent somewhere else. Like, but it wasn't spent on like the CG. It was not spent on costume design. It certainly wasn't spent on the writing. So where was this money spent? Where did this $140 million budget, surely, where did this go? It's not on the screen. I can tell you that
How about
much.
all the... it wasn't spent on getting actors who weren't fucking whitewashed. God. So many roles there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I forgot. There is one thing I do want to touch on before we close off. The effeminate god of Toph god.
Oh, fucking God.
Like, there was one role that wasn't whitewashed.
Yeah, Thoth, or Toth. I've always said Thoth. It's Thoth, but they say Toph. I don't know.
It's the god of wisdom.
Yeah, the Ibis,
Yeah,
as they never portray him as.
yeah. He's basically this like effeminate, catty black guy.
God, that was it was bad writing, but he also was just... That was just bad.
Oh yeah,
the performance was terrible.
Like that was like it was a tie in my mind between him and fucking Jeffrey Rush as the most out of place person and role in this movie. But I think Jeffrey Rush won out because effeminate black guy notwithstanding, Jeffrey Rush on fire.
At least the black guy was black. I mean,
At least he looked a little bit more racially appropriate.
yeah.
Than Gerard Butler and Jaime Lannister.
Yeah. I mean, that's not to say ancient Egyptians were black, more brown, goldish brown. I mean, sure, we need more gold. Paint everybody gold.
Well,
paint them gold.
At least black people. At least black people are on the same continent as
there
Egypt.
were dynasties. I'm sorry. There were kingdoms of where they were black. That makes sense. I think they're later on in Egypt, but not quite as in the first kingdoms. But just anything other than white, please. Anything.
Japanese.
No, I was just gonna say, let's get some, Japanese.
There's like Japanese gods of Egypt.
Why not?
I mean, yeah. I mean, if we're gonna go for racially tone deaf casting, might as well. I mean,
Make this let's get it really, stereotypical and make it a martial art movie.
we get Dr. Ken out there as a god.
Dr. Ken.
Dr. Ken from the Hangover movies.
Oh, I never saw the Hangover movie.
Dr. Ken Jeong.
Never saw them.
Did you see Transformers 3?
Oh, did he voice?
No, he was the Asian doctor. It's like, they call me, like, Huge Wang.
Okay.
No, was it Deep Wang? Sorry, Deep Wang.
Jackie Chan can play Raw.
I'd see that movie. Are you kidding me? It's like one heartbeat away from being a Dynasty Warriors movie.
Yeah, exactly. Like that I could
Like
forgive.
Jackie Chan as Lu Bu. Come on, man.
Oh, please do this. Dynasty Warriors, do not pursue Jackie Chan.
I think we're done.
Yeah, we're done here.
Bye.